What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Sergeant Moose here, back with another The Texas Chainsaw Massacre video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to talk about and break down the recent community check-in by Gun regarding the future of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as well as the Muerto times, guys. There's a lot to unpack here. I'm going to give you my thoughts on what we've seen from this Q&A, and we're going to break it down, talk about it. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Right off the bat, guys, we're going to talk about some content coming within the game. Now, we do have the Muerto times on the horizon. That'll be the first thing in the next patch that we see. We're going to cover that here in just a bit, but I know a lot of folks are itching for content in the game. When is it coming? Okay, so first and foremost, guys, February 6th will be the date of the patch. This is going to be some of the things that are being covered in the Muerto times, which we'll get into. There will be no content before February 6th. Now, I've seen a common misconception circulating around YouTube videos that a lot of folks are saying, because Gunn did mention in the video that we can expect this stuff within 90 days. And a lot of folks are saying, oh my gosh, 90 days, this is a long time for new content. This is potentially 3 more months before we see new content. But that is not the case. Wes made it very, very clear that the content coming within the game is going to be within 90 days. Now, what does that mean? That means it's going to be trickling out within the next 90 days. So this is something we talked about on a previous video as well, too, is what I'd like to see in 2024 is trickle content. This is what we're going to be seeing, guys. You're not going to have a huge bomb of content dropping in 90 days from now, but you're going to be able to see content trickling out within the next 90 days. So that could be right after February 6th. We could see something very close to that date. We could see something in March, April. Things like that, but just let it be known that it's not going to be 90 days before you're seeing new content. So, what is exactly that new content, guys? Now, we do have a new map that was announced. Most of you probably have seen that. It is the mill, and it was interesting to me that we saw the mill, guys, because this map looks absolutely incredible. The artwork, as always, as they show, looks amazing. And I know they do talk about it on one of the radio clips whenever you're starting up a match, too, the old sawmill. This is what we're going to see. This map's going to be very, very different than the other ones, guys. It's going to have 4 stories in the main area of the map. It's going to be very, very vertical, and Gunn promises that it's really going to change how the family and the victims approach the way you play. Also, wells are going to be working differently in the game, too. They didn't want to mention much on that, but something tells me the wells are going to be very, very different compared to the other ones in the maps. And as a victim, you may have to be a little more cautious when going down a well, because it may not lead you where you want it to lead you to. There may be some booby traps on the other side of that well, something like that. It may not always be a cop-out to get out of a chase anymore on this map. So, we do have a new map. It's obviously in the works. We've seen the artworks for it, and the next map will be the mill. We do have a new character in Victim coming as well, guys. No information whatsoever on the victim and the family member, I should say. However, I did see a little snippet of Matt, and I don't know how true this is going to be, but he did mention something about traps. Whether or not he was just kidding or he was actually being serious as to this is how this family member is going to play, is he's going to have traps, would be freaking amazing. So we'll just keep an eye out, keep a lookout on that. But these 3 things, the map and the characters, are going to be expected toward that end of the 90-day mark. It's not going to be coming anytime really, really soon. You'll probably see those 3 things within the next 3 months. Obviously, guys, Shirtless Johnny, I know that's been a topic for some months now. He is obviously confirmed. When is he going to be coming? We don't know, but it is confirmed that he's going to be free. Also, with the Shirtless Johnny skin, we are going to also be getting a bride Sissy, which was very surprising to me. I never, ever thought of a skin like that for Sissy. You know, some of us have talked about like nurse skins, nightgown skins, things like that for her, but I think the bride is absolutely brilliant. Hopefully it has, cosmetically maybe a veil coming down over her face, make her look really dark and scary, maybe blood splattered all over. I think that is just absolutely perfect for Sissy's personality, and it's going to appease to a lot of Sissy players as well. So, Shirtless Johnny, Bride Sissy, again, guys, they're both going to be free. We don't know exactly when they're coming, but they are coming, and it will be within the next 90 days. Now, they did mention that February is the expected time frame for new content. Now, again, February 6th, we get the patch for some of the fixes, and then at some point after that, we'll start trickling in new content. So we have 2 new free skins included as well, guys, that are going to be coming aside from Shirtless Johnny and Bride Sissy. It is not confirmed whether they're victim or family member skins, but they are also going to be included. So we're going to be seeing a lot more skins coming here, guys, which I think a lot of folks are excited about. Multiple execution packs, guys, and if you listen to what I just said, multiple execution packs. We're going to be seeing different amounts of execution packs, and Wes promises that these execution packs are going to be absolutely brutal. He apparently was in discussion with Ronnie Hobbs, and he just said, go all out. Just do it. Make it brutal. These are going to be way more brutal than the executions that we've already seen, and some of them are pretty damn brutal, so I'm excited to see what we're going to see in the new upcoming execution packs. Also, guys, one thing, again, that I also talked about, I know a few of you did as well, was weapon skins. This is going to add more variety to your character and the weapon they're carrying to have a different skin on them. Now, this is going to be just, base skin changes to the weapons, whether it's recolors of the weapons or maybe even different weapons at all. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure, but I do know at least there's going to be weapon skins in the game, whether even if it's a minor change, but it's still a welcomed change nonetheless. Also, guys, the level cap increase past 99 is still in the works. Nothing's changed about that. We don't know exactly when we're going to see it, whether or not it's within the next 90 days. I'm pretty sure it is. But we're going to see that level cap increased past 99, also in-game currency to unlock characters and skins. Also still in the works. Wes did confirm that they're still working with that. So expect all of this stuff to be coming within the game in the next 90 days or less. Next, guys, the single-player mode, the museum mode that we've been talking about that Wes did confirm a few months ago in the developer Q&A. A museum mode is still confirmed, still coming to the game, and a few things that we know about that is you're going to be able to move around the family house freely. This is going to be just tied to the family house. I don't believe any of the other maps are tied into it, but still cool nonetheless. There's going to be minor puzzles within the museum mode. If you think back to the virtual cabin in Friday the 13th, you're going to be able to take pictures of things within the family house in the museum mode as well, assuming you'll be able to screenshot them, obviously save them to your device, whatever you want to do. Not sure if this is going to be in first or third person, guys, kind of like Petals was, which was the little Maria backstory leading up to the game. I think it'd be cool to see this in first person, but we shall see. There's going to be behind-the-scenes stuff from the game and the films as well, and of course trivia within the new museum mode, and that also coming within the next 90 days. Alright, guys, so now that we have the bulk of the content releases coming in, to me, guys, in my opinion, man, that seems like a lot of content within the next 90 days. I'm really excited about that. Again, it's going to be spread out, guys, trickled in within the next 90 days. We're going to start seeing some of this content coming in, so I'm super excited about that. Now it's time to jump into the nitty-gritty, man. Let's talk about these Muerto times, but before we do, I want to talk about Danny first, guys, because I know that's been the biggest topic of a lot of people is Danny, how he's going to be changed, how he's going to be nerfed. So coming in, guys, yes, Danny is going to be nerfed. He's going to be changed. Now, that's not to say, with looking at these changes, Danny is still going to be a very powerful victim. As well he should be, guys. In my opinion, he should be powerful. He's going to be tuned down. He's going to be changed slightly, but he's still going to be very powerful. So, here's what I've gathered, guys. In my opinion, they didn't really explain it in the best way to make it understandable, but this is the way that I interpreted it. So, Danny, he has the ability, obviously, to inspect an objective before he tampers it. That is not going to be any longer. If Danny inspects an objective, say it's the battery, the generator, fuse box, pressure valve, if he inspects that first, he's no longer going to be able to tamper that object. So if you're using Danny, guys, be careful what you're inspecting, because if you want to inspect that fuse box and quickly tamper it for your friends, you inspect it first, you're screwed. You cannot tamper it. You're going to have to go through do the minigame and stuff like that, and you're also not going to be able to tamper it, essentially. Now, this is going to make for some interesting changes with Danny as well, because you're going to want to make sure that you have enough knowledge in your tank and not have to rely on those objectives to get you over that hump to be able to instantly tamper stuff. So keep that in mind, guys. Knowledge is going to be bigger for you to get like in the basement, around the maps, things like that, before you go ahead and try to instantly tamper objects. Now, you can either choose to tamper or study the object. Now, you can still study the object and you can still get the knowledge for it, guys. Again, you're not going to be able to tamper it. And this is going to be tied to 2 different buttons. So you're going to get prompted before whenever you go up and hit that object whether or not you want to study and tamper it. So choose wisely. Also, guys, knowledge values for Danny have been rebalanced. In a nutshell, it does appear that the knowledge gain for Danny is going to be nerfed. Now, they did mention that, you know, the values of the different objects, like the televisions, to the radios, to the lamps, toolboxes, things like that, you know, they're all supposed to be vastly different. And they mentioned that they're all kind of, right now in the game, kind of similar in terms of knowledge gained. Now, in my opinion, I think we're going to see some big changes with that. I think, you know, say the lamps or something very small to study, you're going to basically get a lot less knowledge from those items. And the bigger items like the TV and the radio, you're probably going to get more. Also, guys, at perk level 1 and 2, inspection speed will be reduced, and I don't have the values written down. Unfortunately, I didn't write them down, but I think it's like somewhere between 25 and 50% respectively, or 50 and 75, something like that. But they are going to be kind of significantly reduced at 1 and 2. So, again, if you're a new Danny, you're going to want to get that Danny grind to level 3 as quickly as possible. But at the end of the day, guys, Danny is still going to be very powerful at level 3. He's just going to have to take a little bit longer and hunt a little bit longer for knowledge before he can go and instant tamper these things. So, they did mention that these changes are not set in stone, guys, so they want to see, you know, they want to see us play Danny with these new changes, see if it makes any difference, maybe no difference at all, maybe if it's too much of a difference, we shall see, and we'll report back to them with feedback. But that is the news on Danny, guys. I know a lot of folks wanted to hear about that. Interesting changes coming in with him. Will it be enough? We shall see. Now, getting over to the Muerto times, guys. The first thing on the Muerto times, of course, is Danny's instant study. This is the one thing we're going to see on February 6th with the new patch. We just talked about that. Now, next thing, guys, that is absolutely huge. And as a family main, I will say that I think this is a really, really good change, really solid change, and we'll talk about why. But it's going to be grapple tuning, guys. Essentially, whenever you enter grapple animation with a family member, you will no longer be able to be instantly killed out of that grapple. So, for instance, guys, as we're used to, if you're in a grapple animation, you know, you time it wrong, you get into that grapple, there's a sissy or a hitchhiker, you know, sissy, it doesn't even matter if she has no savagery on her build at all. She can come take one swipe at you and you are instantly dead. This is not going to be the case anymore, guys. When you are in a grapple with somebody and somebody comes and hits you, they're going to hit you out of that grapple, but they're also going to be doing the same normal damage. Now, it's interesting because, say you go into that grapple, you have 50% or less health, okay? Or maybe even 75%, depending on what build the Leatherface has. And the Leatherface is chasing you down while you're in that grapple. He hits you with a big slam. Guess what? You're still probably gonna die. Just as you normally would to a Leatherface. Now, if a sissy comes and hits you and you have full health in a fight, in a grapple, you're not going to die from that. You're going to be able to get out of the grapple and you're going to be able to get away. Now, Sissy's still going to be able to keep the chase on you because you're not going to stun her. You will stun the family member that you were grappled with. You're not going to stun her, so you're still going to be getting chased. So, there is still a ton of risk to grappling, guys, but it's no longer going to be just an instant, easy kill for family if someone's close enough nearby when you grapple. Because in my opinion, guys, grappling is a situation to where you have to be aware of your surroundings, you have to time it correctly, and it's obvious that you don't want to jump into a grapple when you have two other family members standing right beside you. But in this case, you're going to get a little bit of a better chance, especially if you win that grapple. Because we know, right, if you win the grapple, guys, you should be rewarded for that. You should not be able to still be instantly killed out of that, and that is currently the case in the game right now. So, grapple tuning coming with the next patch, guys. No more insta-kills within grapples. Next, guys, we're going to talk about Leatherface, man, and this is the one I'm really excited about, dude. As a Leatherface man, I love to see anything positive coming toward Leatherface in the game. And now this is not like a buff for Leatherface, a super buff or anything like that that's going to make him even more powerful. These are just some changes to his environmental abilities and the way he starts to chainsaw. So, as we know now, guys, whenever you've maxed out your Leatherface to level 3, gun does not feel like there is enough incentive to getting Leatherface to level 3. And what do I mean by that? Instant starting the chainsaw is now going to be faster. So instead of, hitting your start button, watching your meter go across, and having to start the chainsaw that way, wait for Leatherface to do his little shake of the chainsaw over his head, and then you get moving. That is going to be changed, guys. Right now, you're going to be able to start your chainsaw by the click of a button. So as soon as you tap the button to turn on the chainsaw, boom, it turns on, just like that. And I'm assuming, now don't quote me on this, I'm assuming that they're going to get rid of his overhead animation whenever he turns it on as well, to make him just be able to turn the chainsaw on and just get moving right out of the gate. I think that's a great incentive for grinding him all the way to level 3. So, this also makes for, in my opinion, guys, a more stealthy approach with Leatherface. I know for some reason I've been seeing a lot of folks that are not happy about this change. Even folks that are Leatherface mains are upset about this. And I have absolutely no idea why. But this could make for more of a stealthy approach with Leatherface. Yes, of course, they're still going to be able to get your radius whenever you are Leatherface, but they're not going to know, if you play it right, which family member it is sometimes. So you might be able to catch that victim off guard, start that chainsaw up, and go straight after him. And I like to do this in a lot of situations, guys, if I'm out at, say, Slaughterhouse on the battery or generator side exits. And I feel like someone has gotten out there, but for the life of me, I cannot find them out there. I'll go inside one of the doors, and I will turn my chainsaw off, stare out the door, and look and see if I can see them running across the map. This is going to be absolutely amazing in that instance whenever I can instantly start a chainsaw. So that's going to be exciting. Next, guys, with Leatherface, he's going to be able to destroy objects faster. And the way they kind of mentioned this, it's going to be about 2 seconds faster with barricades, doors, and crawl spaces. He's going to be able to break them down a lot faster. And I think this is a great change, guys, especially for the barricades. The barricades take forever to break, and by the time a victim gets over one, they are gone out of your eyesight so easily because it takes you so long to break them down. This stuff is going to break a lot faster, so be prepared for a little bit faster Leatherface movement within the game. Next, guys, we're going to talk about a few things. Grapple Perk save. Changing out your Grapple Perk will save your loadout. So it currently does not do that, guys. Sometimes you just won't have a Grapple Perk, but now, whenever you set a Grapple Perk to a specific loadout, it will save there. Also, guys, missing fuse box found. The fuse box, as a lot of you may know, Family Vision sometimes does not pick up the fuse box if it's in Johnny's shack on Nancy's house. That has been changed as well. Slippery, also, guys, this is supposed to be in Danny's skill tree. Of course, the ability where you go through gaps and you move faster. This has not, for some reason, been in his skill tree, and it's being moved back. So Danny will have the option to have Slippery, and I kind of like that because Slippery is a really good perk, and I like to use it. Family Trapped no more. Now, there was an exploit, guys, and I have been the victim of this exploit playing as Leatherface before, and it is a nasty one. If you get Leatherface inside of a room, where the door of that room latches from the inside. If you get him in there, and there's a crack to where the victim can get out another different way, but Leatherface cannot get out, and one of the victims latch the door, go out that crack, and then go around to the door from the other side, and start barging it. Don't finish the barge, but start the barge and stay in the animation. Leatherface has no way out. He cannot break the door. He cannot get out any other way. He will be stuck there for the rest of the game. The victims can hold him hostage unless another family member comes down and gets them off the door. So it's rough for solo queue, and a lot of victims are still doing that. Unfortunately, it's not a very common exploit, but when it does happen, it is absolutely game-breaking. So it's nice to see that that's being changed as well. Next, guys, this is... we're getting kind of nitty-gritty here. We're going to talk about Choose Flight Bomb Squad. Now, these are some of the perks that I've been talking about on my streams for months now, and I know a lot of folks have as well. Choose Flight, guys, is going to be nerfed. And before we get a little crazy with this, I know a lot of people aren't happy about this. We're going to talk about why it's going to be nerfed and what kind of the counter effect for family is going to be as well, because we're going to be seeing a nerf on family side too. So Choose Flight, guys, as we know, currently has 3 charges. You use your stamina, you instantly get refilled. So you have the potential, if you have all 3 charges of Choose Flight, you have potential to get 4 straight full stacks of stamina. And Gunn and many other people, including myself, thought that was way too damn much. So no more Choose Flight 3 stacks, guys. Choose Flight now will be limited to 1 stack at level 3. Now, at level 1, if I believe the values are correct, level 1 will be a 50% stamina increase. So if if you're running down the road from Leatherface, your stamina depletes, and you're at level 1 on Choose Flight, you're going to get half of the stamina back to continue running. Level 2 is going to be 75%, so you'll get 3/4 of that stamina, and level 3 is going to be 1 charge of stamina. So, basically, guys, at level 3, Choose Flight has been reduced from 3 charges to 1. So, Bomb Squad. This is the biggest one for me, guys. And, God, I'm so happy they changed this. I don't want to be that guy that's crying about nerfs and things all the time, but Bomb Squad needed changed, and by God, did they change it. Now, one of the issues with Bomb Squad, guys, that's not going to be changed that I had was the disarming speed. It's insanely, ridiculously fast. You can be being chased by Leatherface or Hitchhiker running down a flight of stairs and instantly disable that trap right in front of their face before they even get a hit off. That, unfortunately, will still not be changed, but there's going to be charges to Bomb Squad, and at level 3, you're going to get 3 charges. So you're going to have to really think about when you're going to use your Bomb Squad, because guess what? If you have a really good Hitchhiker Nancy on the team, man, they keep resetting them traps, you're going to find yourself blowing through them Bomb Squad charges very quickly. So it might even make for, needing another player on your victim squad to have Bomb Squad as well, but it's going to change up the meta. Now, going back to Choose Flight, guys. Scout for family. They are also looking at Scout. They're talking about nerfing Scout. This may not be in the upcoming Muerto Times patch on February 6th, but Scout is going to be changed as well. Not sure exactly how they're going to do that. Maybe just lower the base speed of Scout, but I am okay with that as a family main. I love the fact of not needing to use Scout on nearly every family member. Some family members will tell you that you need it on all 6. I currently don't believe that. I don't use it on Leatherface, and I don't use it on Nancy. But the other 4 family members, I feel like at the way the game is right now, especially with Choose Flight and the speed of the victims, Scout is almost needed on most of the family members, and it should not be that way. And guys, I'm really excited about that because this will open up new avenues to be able to have that extra perk slot in case you don't want to feel compelled to use Scout. So this is going to kind of balance out with Choose Flight, because guess what, guys? If you don't have a Choose Flight anymore on victim, but you also don't have a family member that's as fast anymore because of Scout, it's going to help balance things out. So Scout's going to be getting nerfed as well. It may not come in the February 6th update, but it's definitely being talked about, and they're working on that. Now, here's the one, guys, that I did not fully agree with. We had a few folks within the community whining about this perk, and they got their way with it. Poison Claws is going to be rebalanced, which essentially means it's going to be nerfed. As we know, guys, Nancy gets Poison Claws, and whenever she hits the victim, it's going to slow the victim down. It's going to make it hard for you to run. It's going to make it hard for you to get through, doorways, things like that. It's going to make it hard for you to get away from Nancy. Now, in my opinion, this was one of the best qualities that Nancy had in chases, because Nancy does have decent speed. It's not that great. It's definitely not that good at all. It's not compared to like Sissy, Hitchhiker, or Leatherface for damn sure, but it's without Poison Claws, guys. I feel like it's going to make it very, very difficult for Nancy in a chase. And I didn't think it was overpowered. I didn't think it was that crazy. Even on victim side, man, I've been hit with Poison Claws, and it's just one of those things to where you want to be careful of where you're getting in front of Nancy. You want to make sure you have, an exit point, a gap, or a well. Remember, Nancy can't gap or anything like that, so there are ways to get away from her. They did mention that these Poison Claws were on Sissy back in the day, which is what made, that rubber legs issue with Sissy. It made her so powerful before they nerfed her, or fixed her, I should say. A lot of folks are saying that this is the same issue with Nancy, but that's not really the case in my opinion, because Sissy's faster than Nancy, and Sissy can also swing faster than Nancy. I don't know. We'll see how much they nerf this, but I hope it's really not a lot, because personally, I didn't think Poison Claws on Nancy was that much of an issue, but apparently a lot of people did, so changes coming for that. Blood trails, guys, will now be thicker within the game, so you'll be able to see them more clearly whenever you're hitting a victim, especially with, the likes of serrated, things like that. They're bleeding out. You'll be able to trail them easier with the blood trails. There's going to be new language translations and more coming as well. Now, guys, under investigation, these are things we won't see in the next patch, most likely, is a report system improvements, in-game report systems. The basement fuse door notification is going to be looked into as well. Nancy exploits. This could possibly mean with, setting the barbed wire traps and then picking it back up to try to proc her ability that lets you use one without using the charge. Also, guys, spawn point issues, they're going to be looking at those, and I'm assuming that might pertain to something like Johnny spawning all the way outside in some instances, on Family House, gas station, Sissy's spawn points, different things like that they're going to look into as well. Close encounter minigame issues, and crashing and loading issues. So they're always looking into the crashing and loading stuff. But this, in a nutshell, guys, is the Muerto times 150 fixes in testing. This is what we can expect on February 6th, what we just read at the top. Lots of big changes coming for Leatherface, buffs, nerfs in different areas. I didn't see anything within this Muerto times that looked too extreme, so I don't think it's going to change gameplay as much, but it should be interesting nonetheless. And as for content, guys, within the next 90 days, we're going to see all of what I mentioned earlier in the video. It's going to be trickling content. It could be anytime after February 6th, so we should start seeing some stuff. So, with that said, guys, that was a lot to take in, and I apologize. I wanted to make this video shorter than Guns stream. We're at about 26 minutes right now, so we covered a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed this, man. We will be, of course, on stream, guys. We stream the game almost every single night here on the channel, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Come check us out. Come hang out with us. I'm a family man, but I also play Victim. We have a ton of fun, lots of shenanigans, and I still have a ton of positivity for this game. I want it to succeed, and I'm still having a blast with it. So if you're looking for one of them positive creators, guys, or what a lot of people like to say now, toxic positivity, I guess I'm one of those. So with that said, guys, my name's Sergeant Moose. I want to thank everybody for watching the video. Let me know what you guys think about these changes, and we'll see you on the next one, man. Take care.